Peace, y'all. Peace and love, man. Hold up. Peace and love, y'all. I'm traveling around right now. Peace and love to all the Muslims, all the Moors. Peace and love to all the different nationalities around the planet. Hope y'all enjoying this Sunday. The Fez Dilla, Islam, or y'all don't know who the Fez Dilla is. We gotta support our own. You don't know who the Fez Dilla is, link up. You need that Moorish drip. You need that Moorish garb. You need some fresh fezzes, fitteds. I seen some fitteds that's raw as hell. Link up with the Fez Dilla, fam. He out there in New Jersey. Link up. Gotta support our own, G. Fezzes, jackets. He got, man, just holler at him. He on here right now. The Fez Dilla. Link up. Peace and love to all the mothers. All the mothers on the planet. Salam to you. You are beautiful. You are special. We appreciate you as Moorish man. We appreciate you. We appreciate y'all. Y'all give us life, but y'all also can make life, man, a roller coaster. Y'all give us life, but y'all can make the man's life a roller coaster, fam. And vice versa. We can make y'all life a roller coaster too. Reason I beamed on here is a salam to all the mothers. We appreciate y'all. As Moorish man, we appreciate y'all. We give y'all flowers, not just today, but we give y'all deserve flowers every day. Every day y'all deserve flowers. Just like the Moorish man deserve flowers. But this right here is about the Moorish woman, the divine feminine energy that you Moorish women bring to the planet. Yes, sir. This is about you Moorish women. Salam to all you Moorish women out there. Even if you don't think that you Moorish, you are, but you might be in a state of cognitive dissonance. You thinking that you a color person. You might be thinking that you a black person. You might be thinking that you an African American. Those places don't exist on Earth though. So still gotta put the ether out there. So all you melanated beings, women on the planet, I'm speaking for myself right now. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. The good, the bad, the ugly. You know we in Iraq, man. I appreciate the good, the bad, the ugly, man. It's gonna take that link up. It's gonna take that link up with you Moorish women to make this whole thing move and operate in the matriarch like it's supposed to right now. Because it's been in the patriarch for a few centuries now. And you see the patriarch, the hybrid Europeans, they moved it to a patriarch, took the mother out. Ever since then, it's been chaos. So in order to restore the nation, you gotta restore the woman. You gotta restore the woman if you want to restore a nation. Because without that Moorish woman, will her mind restored to a place where it's supposed to be? Chaos. That's what you're gonna have. Chaos, G. Y'all outside. Y'all see what it is outside? Chaos. The Moorish woman, the majority of them in the lower state of mind, in the strip club, tricking off, doing all kind of wild shit of the world. Supposed to be in the world, not of the world. Supposed to be in the world and not of the world. We gotta get our mind back. That's the restoration of the matriarch. That is the restoration of the Moorish nation. We got to restore the mother. We got to look at her. You don't know what you want to do. Goof ass. We got to restore the mother. The mother's higher consciousness has to be restored in order to restore the nation. So it's gonna take an effort. It's going to take an effort from us, the Moorish man, to restore the Moorish woman. It's going to take an effort from the Moorish women to restore the Moorish man. It's going to take effort, fam. It's going to take principles. is y'all doing? It's gonna take effort, fam. So this right here really was a salam. Big up to you Moorish women, man. Moorish man, we love y'all. We love the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? We love that. We love that because without you Moorish women, it wouldn't be no Moorish man at all. So y'all deserve all the flowers. When y'all out here doing what y'all doing, bringing life to the planet, y'all Moorish women, y'all deserve the flowers. As you should. You deserve the flowers. You deserve the flowers. Peace and love to all the Moors out there, fam. All of the Moors that's out there. Straight up. You Moorish women, y'all deserve all the flowers. Because every day should be Mother's Day, just like every day should be Father's Day. Shouldn't be no designated days like, yeah, this is Mother's Day. Because we put it on the calendar that this is Mother's Day. No, sir. It's like it shouldn't be no Father's Day. Look, it's the same thing when it got all these little days, these designated days. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, so-called holidays. We got to get back on it. That's the restoration of the Moorish nation. We got to get back on it. Stop reading again. Somebody hit me up. Just like so-called Black History Month. How you gonna put all of our people into 1 month? And the slap in the face is we're gonna put y'all in the month that got the least amount of days. Fam. Get with it, G. Dude hit me up today and he was like, I'm not a Moor or something like that. So I responded to him. I said, well, thanks for letting us know that you're a ward. So he wrote me back and was like, the Lord, he said, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm saved and can't nobody tell me nothing about who I am and these earthly things. And that brought something to mind. Yeah. People really be out here so self-absorbed in dogma that they think everything that they got in their head is it. And can't nobody tell them nothing about what they know. Can't nobody tell you nothing about what you know because you know it and because you saying it got to be true. Fam, that self-righteousness is a dark spell with our people. The Lord and Savior is Jesus. Jesus means justice. So answer me this. Whoever out there thinking like, I could do whatever I want to do. I could name myself whatever I want to name myself. There are laws. Why do you obey the police when they give you unlawful commands? Answer for you people out there that think, well, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior and he got me and can't nobody tell me nothing about nothing. Okay, answer me this. For the people that think like that. Why do you obey the commands of man if Jesus is your Lord and Savior? Why do you obey the commands of man? Huh? Why do you obey the commands of man if you got the mentality of I don't listen to people telling me who I am and these earthly things? Why do you obey commands of people then? The police tell you to pull over, I guarantee your ass gonna pull over. Guaranteed. Why? You said you don't listen to man and earthly things, yet and still, when the police come over and tell you to pull over, you pull over. Why? Why do you pull over? You see? You see? See how it don't make sense? You see how you could put something out there and you start thinking like, make that make sense. You say you don't listen to man and you don't follow nothing but God. So why do you obey the stop sign? Why do you obey traffic lights? Peace more. Why you obey traffic lights? Why? Obviously you do. So you sound like a hypocrite when you say something like, well, the laws of man are earthly things and I don't obey them. Yeah, you do. Police pull you over, you gonna pull over. But you just said you don't listen to earthly things though. So you see the contradiction? Constant contradictions. Constant contradictions. You ever wondered, you ever thought that it's not called the laws of the land? It's known as the rules of the road. Laws and rules are not the same thing. Think about it. Sitting in a light in the middle. Yeah. It's known as the rules of the road. It's not known as the laws. Why do you think it's not called the laws of the road? Because they don't have lawful jurisdiction to put something out there. It would say laws of the road. That's why it's known as rules of the road, because rules, statutes, ordinances are color of law. This is why law is important. Knowing law is important. Off basic day-to-day things that we see every day. It's knowing the law is important, man. You don't have to know every law in the law book, but you got to be at least competent in what's going on for your affairs day in, day out. It's not called the laws of the road. It's called the rules of the road. So when somebody got the logic like, I don't obey earthly things and nationality is an earthly thing and I'm protected by Jesus Christ. Yet and still there's documentation called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That's documentation. Documentation. Every nation on the planet signed this document known as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But that's an earthly thing to you. So, but you obey the commands that's unlawful from the police though. When they tell you to get out, pull over. You see how people be so hypocritical, man? Just pure contradiction, G. Pure contradiction. And then when you try to enlighten somebody, they don't want to hear that. Nah. I don't want to hear that. That's an earthly thing. I'm protected by Jesus. I'm protected by Jesus. Jesus got my back. Yeah. In the Bible, it says in Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, my people perish by the day for a lack of knowledge. So when you want to throw these scriptures out on Sundays or any other day, Moors that study, we read the Bible, we read the Septuagint, we read the Torah, we read the Vedas, we read the tablets, the Nakal tablets, the Emerald tablets, the books of the dead. We reading everything. The Kabbalah, we're reading the Kabbalion, etc. We could just keep naming names off of books that you need to get in your life. It ain't just one book. How could you really think that one book got all the answers in it? So forget about the Quran, forget about the Kabbalah, forget about the Kabbalion, forget about any other book. You just put all of your focus in one book, and that's going to have all the answers. That's unintelligent. That's unintelligent in this time right now that we in. So what about the law books? You on the road in your car. You went to go take a driver's exam to get a so-called license. That's unconstitutional. Or it's not more. A so-called license, think about this. Licenses, listen to me. Licenses, all of them are unconstitutional. All of them. Supreme Court cases. Shuttlesworth versus Pennsylvania. Supreme Court cases. Your rights, my rights. Human rights. cannot be licensed. They can't be taxed. They can't be toiled. But Jesus got you. Jesus got you. Jesus got you. See how people be reading and coming to the conclusions that it don't matter what everybody else doing, even though it could be 100% wrong that they doing. If it's them that's doing it, they don't care. They don't care. You know why? Because they comfortable in what they believe in. Last time I checked, beliefs don't mean you know. So when somebody tell me they know something and they can prove it, that's how you show, because you can prove it. Somebody tell me that they could do some plumbing work and I see them do their work. Okay, well now you competent, you qualified in what you're doing. These so-called black leaders, they keep telling y'all that y'all black. Over and over, and for generations they've been telling y'all black. And nobody but people that get the idea like these niggas got to be lying, because all I keep seeing is so-called black people getting murdered in the streets. So how is it that these so-called black people keep getting murdered? And how is it that none of these so-called black leaders ever bring up the fact that maybe it's because they don't tell people to look in law books? Because the law books, the Constitution, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, maybe those books have the right answers in them. Maybe them got the right books in them. You're not supposed to just read the Bible. You supposed to read all the books. The Quran, the Vedas, the Bible. The Bible is a sun book anyway. The Bible is a science book. The Quran, it's a science book. They're supposed to be read in unison. They ain't supposed to be read separate. These dark priests, the dark magicians that be running the planet, making people move like puppets, they read all the books. They study all the isonomy. They study the esoteric and the exoteric. They not just reading one book. That's how they able to move how they move and do dark magic, because they're looking at all the books. They're looking at the cosmology. They're not just looking at, we're gonna just read the Bible. These people are scientific. They just using the science for the dark purpose. Islam, boy. They just using the science for the dark forces. Hey, people be saying, man, that's the white man's book. It's the white man's book. That's another self-righteous, just a term that our people just throw out. Love throwing that out. You just love throwing that term out. Why? You speak English, so you read and you write and you can speak English. But when somebody says you identifying as something in this language that you speak, you're identifying wrongly, and it's detrimental to your health. You don't want to take that under consideration, that maybe you're just wrong because you're identifying as black, African American. You don't want to take that in consideration. You wouldn't want to be like, maybe I am identifying wrong. Let me just look and see if I have been identifying wrongly. Let me just look and see. Know what happened? Ego kick in. Nah, I'm good. What I need that shit for? Nah, I'm cool. I know who I am. Can't nobody tell me shit. That's the typical answer. And that answer has been hurting people. It's been hurting our people, our children for generations. But nah, people want that feel-good talk. You want that TD Jakes talk. Yeah. You want that Creflo Dollar talk. Huh? You want that kind of talk. Have you ever seen a broke pastor? I don't really know. I don't really know a broke pastor. But I know they got something called poor righteous teachers. Why are the teachers the poor righteous ones? And why are the pastors, the pimps, the people that's doing dirt on people, they own people, why are they the ones that's caked up? Something to think about. Why are they the ones caked up? Yeah. But they you know, the pastor coming there with a $2,000 suit on. All he doing Islam. All the pastors is doing is regurgitating the same prosperity talks every Sunday. Jesus is gonna save you. Jesus is your Lord and Savior. Fam, this dark spell, man, the only way it could lift is when the people start getting knowledge of self. Yeah, you said poor righteous teachers. Think about it. Why are the educators, I'm talking about the real Steve Coakley, Taj Tariq Bey, Raz Mariah Bey, El Haj Malik El Shabazz, Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Ida B. Wells, you know what I'm saying? Chief Malik, Jeff Fort, Larry Hoover. How come all of them? ETC, Matulu. How come all of them ain't getting their flowers? How come they don't get their flowers? And a lot of them are the mothers. A lot of them. How come Queen Nanny? Shout out to my people out there in Jamaica. All my people out there in the Caribbeans. You know who Queen Nanny is. You know who Queen Nanny is. Shout out to the Maroons. Shout out to the Maroons out there. Shout out to the Tainos out there. Shout out to the Arawaks that's outside. Yeah. All the Bodikins that's outside. Yeah. The so-called Dominicans that's outside. The Trinidadians that's outside. The St. Lucians outside. Shout out to the Moors out there in St. Vincent that's outside. Barbados that's outside. You know? Mexico that's outside. Honduras that's outside. You know? It's been a whole lot of great mothers that's really been fighters out here. Throughout the times, throughout the centuries. I might do a beam out on that later tonight. It's been a whole lot of great mothers. Queen Califia. How could I forget Queen Califia? I couldn't forget her. California is named after Queen Califia. Man. But they be saying, the law don't matter. God told me that I'm a Christian and he's my Lord and Savior. Never mind all this great history of Moorish people. Never mind all this great history. Nah, never mind that. You want to be African American, black and colored, and Negro, and Indian, and Pan African. They keep switching that, fam. These people, they keep switching names. You look at the names, G. Indian, Negro, black, colored, African American. Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson cooked that name up. He pulled that shit out of a hat. No, you're not black anymore. You're African Americans now. And people just went along. They just went along with it. They could tell but you know what's the flip side of that? When you let somebody know, fam, Jesse Jackson made that shit up in the 1980s. Jesse Jackson cooked up the African American term in the 1980s, 1990, late 80s. He cooked that term up. Man, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want Kush. I don't want to hear about that, fam. Yeah. People love, on God, G. People love labels. People love labels, fam. You think about it. What drives, on some economic type, what drives the modern consumer today to purchase something? It's been psychological studies done on so-called black people on not only the purchasing power, but fam, our people gross. Look at this number. Our people collectively gross $800 billion annually. Our people. 800 billion. That's with a B. $800 billion annually. But we don't own nothing. We don't own nothing. 800 billy, and don't own nothing. That number in itself is a study that has been done on so-called African Americans who are really Moors, who have abandoned their birthright. So think about that number. $800 billion per year. And look at what people triggered off on. Like I said, this psychological study that was done on so-called African Americans, the spending power versus what they do, what they don't buy. Should blow your mind, G. They were saying in this study that so-called African Americans, it's gangs of videos of this. They say that so-called African Americans would rather buy brand names versus buying something just as good or better that's not a brand name. Facts. Facts, fam. This is a study that was done about consumerism of the so-called black man and the so-called black woman. This is an actual study, a consumerism study that our people would rather trick off on brand names versus products that are just as good or better. Because we brainwashed with, we got to get something that has the name. We got to get an iPhone. You got to get Gucci. You got to get Prada. Oh, you got to get a Cadillac. Oh, you got to get a Maserati. Now, I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm not telling you what to buy at all. That's not even what I'm doing. That ain't even what I'm doing. I'm just showing you an actual consumerism analysis, generational wise, that has been done on our people. This is facts, fam. Our people have not graduated from the mental perspective of you don't have to buy the latest, newest brand name just because it's the latest and the newest brand name. When you got other products that's out here that's just as good or better. Like case in point, that number that our people generate annually, $800 billion annually, that the so-called African American man, so-called African American woman generate per year. 800 billion and don't own nothing. And then you look at all the professions. Look at all the professions that are out here. Look at all of them. Look at all the professions. Look at all of the professions. Islam, appreciate you. Mother's Day is one of the Mother's Day. Look at it. Look at the fam. If anybody out there studies marketing, promotion, look at the strategic strategies that are out here. Strategic. It just don't make sense. But it makes sense to them because they're thinking things up in think tanks. So they like, okay, look, Mother's Day is coming around. What we gonna do? We gonna flood the market with promotion all on TV. Even before the day come, we gonna flood. We want you to get roses, flowers, consumerism, pure consumerism. And then they supply that demand. Father's Day, same thing. Nobody really talk about Father's Day, but salute to the fathers. Just like we saluting to the mothers too. Because don't forget, Mother's Day and Father's Day is every day. You take care of your children, salam. You take care of your babies, salam. These so-called holidays, they're nothing but consumerism traps to get our income. Excuse me, not income, but to get our energy. It's not to get our income, because corporations got income. Human beings have energy. You see? So us as human beings, gods having these, and goddesses having these human experiences on planet Gaia, we're using energy. We're using our energy. It's not even the green pieces of paper. It's the energy. This is what's going on. And we have been tricked to psychologically put our energy into things that don't manifest nothing. They just are. They're materials. Boxes of candy, boxes of chocolates. Father's Day, they want to sell, tools, and they want to sell, things that, unless you buying a tool that's worth something, like you buying a firearm, you buying something to fix up your house, a chainsaw, you feel me? You buying things like material to build something, tool sets, then those are positives. But if you just out here just buy, man, look, buy whatever you want to buy. But it's time to have the conversation of, if our people, it's not an if, our people are generating $800 billion annually, 800 billion annually, but we don't own anything. No NFL teams, but we watch the NBA playoffs and the NFL playoffs. We don't own anything of substantial usage. We don't own Walmarts. Look at all the Walmarts. Look at all the giant corporations. Where's our people at in ownership of these things? Banks. Huh? See? This is why I be uncomfortable. You see? Because people like these pastors, they'll keep the whole prosperity message going. Joel Osteen and the rest of them. We need a massive awakening. And it's happening. But what can make it faster is the fact that people start questioning things that are presented to them, instead of just going by what you heard, or you going by what you always been told, who you are. Research it. What's wrong with researching it? You research, this the other side of that, researching. Our people research when the latest shoes is coming out, when the latest Jordans is coming out, peace. When the latest, high fashion things is coming out, we research the shit out of that. We research that all day. When the latest Chanel and Gucci and Prada and Balenciaga, when the newest Beamer coming out, when the newest Lexus or the Benz coming out, what's the latest pit bull I could get? What's the latest high priced dog that I could get so I could breed? What's the latest bag that I could go buy? What's the latest gossip that's out? What happened in Hollywood? Fam. What's the newest rap dance? What's the rawest theme song that's out right now? We gotta have these uncomfortable conversations. And they only really uncomfortable because people got this spell of self-righteousness. That's really the only reason why it's uncomfortable, because people got this ego and this self-righteous spell that's on our people. Bad, G. I'm talking about bad. You could look at this. You could go to the gym. You get uncomfortable in the gym because you're working out, you exercising, you putting blood flow inside the muscles in your body that you're trying to bulk up. You trying to build your body up in the gym. So you go, you work out, you get a routine, If you stay disciplined, you're going to see results. Peace. If you stay disciplined with a routine in a gym, you're going to see results, positive results. So let's take it to the intellectual side. Let's take it to the law side. Let's take it to the civic side. Let's take it to jurisprudence, which is positive law. So when you start studying and learning positive law, you can look around and see what's really going on that's negative with our people. But that's too uncomfortable because people would rather work out their whole body. They don't want to work out the number one and the strongest muscle in the body. Right here. The mind. That's the strongest muscle in our bodies. The mind. You think about all the strong people that could bench press 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds or whatever. However big they are. You got to have somebody that can think. Because your body can only do what your mind tells it to do. That part. Your body can, no matter how strong your body is, check it out. No matter how strong our bodies are, it's the mind. The mind ultimately has control of the body. Because the body cannot do nothing without the mind first telling it what to do. That's why these people, the dark magicians, have us so distracted. You come home, you slaving at your job. Check it out. Y'all know like I know. I ain't saying nothing that y'all already don't know. It's just you need it. I'm just hitting that spirit that's inside you. Right? The mind is all. So check it out. Pineal gland. Think about this. They got so many different chemicals inside the foods. Whether you on a vegan diet, whether you on a Presbyterian diet, or whether you on a carnivore diet, whatever diet that you on, all these supplements and these things that are out here. You feel me? And then it'd be like, peace. And then it'll be something like, well, you can take all the supplements that you want to get your body the way you want it to be. But ultimately, if you don't take time out to strengthen this muscle right here inside your head, what good is it for you to have all that physical strength and your mind is oatmeal? Your mind is oatmeal, G. That means somebody stronger than you mentally can actually win over you. If you having a non-physical situation, real shit. If you having a non-confrontational situation, like in the business world, they can get over on you because they know how to think longer than you. They know how to think stronger than you. They know how to get more reps in their thinking than you. Mentally. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about mentally. They can do more push-ups. They can do more pull-ups. They can do more sets. They can do more reps with heavier weight because they're used to being in these type of situations because they're stressing their mind out. No different than we work our bodies out, our physical bodies. You go to the gym. You working out. You get a good workout in. You get a good burn in. Nah, your muscles, they aching. Why are they aching? Because you stress them out. That means you doing something. You go home, you get your rest. When you pick up a book, check it out. When you pick up a book, you read that book. You read some pages. You ain't got to read the whole book at one time. Be real, be real. You don't have to read the whole book in one sit down. You take your time, you get your reps in, and then you get your sets in. You got to make it fun for you to learn. You know you better than anybody else. You know you better than anybody else. You know how much you will sit down there and read. You would sit down there and read Islam. Sit down there and read a couple pages. Go from a couple pages. Now you're going to start reading 4 pages. 9, 6, 8. and so on. You feel me? Now, that muscle inside your mind, your head, this whole corona soul, this crown that we all got. Now that crown can start strengthening internally besides just physically. People love working out. How about starting to work that ultimate muscle out? Fam, our minds is so strong. They can't even calculate how much the information that the mind can hold. You hear what I just said? They cannot calculate. Scientists cannot even calculate how strong this muscle is inside our heads, our minds are. Real life. Just think about that kind of strength. If scientists are still trying to calculate the strength of the mind, why ain't we exercising that muscle a lot more than we doing? You feel me? Exercise this muscle. But you know, people be doing what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't be liking people complaining. Islam more. I just don't be liking people that be complaining. If they complaining and then you like, hey, check the Constitution out. You got some problems with economics. You got some problems with your rights being violated, your human rights being violated. See? Go check out go check them weights out. Go lift some of them weights over there. So you go lift some of them weights over there, then you're gonna strengthen yourself up. Now just think about that on a massive, massive scale. 10, 20, you know what I'm saying? 40, 50, 100 people. They start picking them weights up. Weights meaning them books up. Think about that strength. Now multiply that by 10. Now you got 1,000 people outside on the same strength level. Yo, y'all ain't got the same physical strength. But the mental strength, they ain't got to be reading all the books that you're reading. Islam. But they can keep up. You see? Islam to the Florida Republic. They could keep up. See? All that physical strength is cool. You know what I'm saying? You want to get your little summer body. You want to get your little, you know what I'm saying? You want to get your summer body right. That's cool. But what about getting your mind right as well? Feel me? Get your mind right as well. You can have all the strength in the world like Samson. What happened? Delilah got to him. Why? How? What? What did she get to him with? You see, it's the same stories that's repetitive. Same stories. They're repetitive, G. A lot of great men have went down. A lot of great women have went down. Either it was because of betrayal, or it was because they didn't recognize what was going on. They didn't recognize it. See, if you don't know, then you can't recognize. You can't peep like, hey, nah, that ain't right. I'm gone. I'm over here with it. See, but you could do that when you know. You start recognizing. No different when you in a situation when you outside. You know how it be when you outside. You in a situation when you outside. And you starting to look around, you see the scene like, hey, hold up. Dude over there, he ain't move. Dude over there keep looking at me. Y'all know how it be when you outside. Dude over there, he just sitting there. You pull up to the gas, just case in point, you pull up to a gas station. First of all, you pull up to the gas station, you know you finna get out. I'm in Iraq, so you know you finna get out. What gas station is you? It's certain gas stations that you already know you ain't supposed to pull up in no way. You see? Because you got knowledge of the land. You see how we instinctively use moral science, but we don't really know as a collective people what we're doing. We just going off instinct. You feel me? We going off instinct. You know when you pull up in that gas station, look, okay. I'm finna get out. I'm finna look around. I'm finna see what's cracking. I'm finna see who over there, what's going on, woo, right? Go get your gas. Boom. Come outside. You looking, the joint up in the tank. You looking around. You're looking around. You ain't just like, Just like this. Nah, nigga, you looking around. You're surveying the scene. You surveying the scene. You see how we instinctively do these things? Peace, Joe. We instinctively be using more science, but it hasn't been taught to us. But we, by blood, we have these instincts and knowledge inside ourselves, inside our mind. We just got to strengthen that mind up. Because you already know. When you smell something that's bogus, it look bogus. You go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You go somewhere, you chilling out. You know what I'm saying? You start to peep the scene like, nah, this don't look right. You know what I'm saying? You starting to, like when people get up, like when people, you know what I'm saying, go somewhere and it's a crowd there. And some people in the crowd, they ain't moving right. They ain't moving right. First thing happened, what? Your antennas is up. You looking around, you peeping the scene. You starting to hear people say things. So you're going by sight. You're going by what you hear. And then you processing that information and you making a determined situation. You taking a determined decision about your situation. You need to leave. You need to stay. You need to go to another place. You're going to make a decision because you're thinking about your thinking. You're not just moving around like a mannequin. Somebody places you here, and this is where you're going to be. No, sir. Nah. The wave right now is being in the know. That's the wave. You know what I'm saying? Being in the know, that's the wave. Being in the know. Know yourself. Know your enemies. Know your environment. You know what I'm saying? Fight or flight instincts. We naturally got them though. But you know, do you want to use them or not? That's the thing. You want to use them or not? You want to use them or not? Straight up. Because somebody that don't recognize it, they're going to walk right into the trap. You're going to walk right into the trap. No different than you saying that, well, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Yeah. Okay. Does Jesus Christ come to your aid when the police got you on the ground or on a traffic stop and the police are violating your rights? Does Jesus Christ come to your aid right there? Or would knowledge and your people come to your aid? You said 1 million more march? Look, we ain't even really got real rap more. We ain't even really got to march nowhere. For real though, we ain't even really got to march nowhere. All we got to do is just stand up. That's really it, more. We ain't really got to march nowhere. It'll be something good to look at. I ain't gonna lie. It'll be something raw to look at. Like, yeah, it's 1 million more there. That'll be strong. You know what I'm saying? But really, more just got to be they self. You know what I'm saying? More just got to be they self. You just got to be they self. You don't need, look. All right, look, check this out. Instead of 1 million more march, how about 1 million mores? Look, check this out. Instead of us having 1 million more march, how about 1 million of so-called black people? Check it out. How about 1 million so-called black people don't renew their driver's license? How about that? How about that? Because Jesus Christ ain't making you get your driver license. People doing it voluntarily. And all licenses are unconstitutional. No license is constitutional. Human rights cannot be licensed. So how can somebody tell you or me when we could go travel and do what we want to do? You telling me I got to get permission from you that I could get in my car and go on the road. And in case I get pulled over, Jesus Christ ain't coming to my aid. My knowledge is coming to my aid. Or the Moorish militia is coming to my aid. That's who coming to your aid. It ain't Jesus Christ. Jesus means justice. But you also have to know what justice means in order to administer justice. You got to know what justice is. You can't just be like, I know my rights and no justice, no peace. Do you know what your rights is? Do you know the 10 Bill of Rights? Just start the basics. Do you know the 10 Bill of Rights? Somebody on some ignorant shit to be like, what good is it to know the 10 Bill of Rights? Shit, what I need to learn that for? You see that? What good is it to know the 10 Bill of Rights? Why should I need to know that? Because you in your car and you trying to tell me that you need permission from somebody else to travel on the roads that you live on? So how about 1 million so-called African Americans don't get a driver license again? Do you know the devastation? Do you know the devastation, the chaos that would do to the U.S. de facto corporation? Fam, things could change overnight. Straight up. Overnight. Anything that got something to do with a license. How about you sign on that form? All rights reserved. How about that? Instead of having 1 million more march, how about on every document that you get from the U.S. corporation, how about sign all rights reserved on that document? You talking about taking the fangs out of our necks. That could take the fangs out of our necks overnight. Overnight. This solutions. Solutions. On a Mother's Day, which should be every day. Just like Father's Day should be every day. I do not consent. All rights reserved. How about 1 million so-called African Americans? Every piece of documentation that you get from this day forward, sign on there, all rights reserved. How about that? Peace, Cool Joe. How about that? How about every piece of documentation from the U.S. corporation, you say, I do not consent. You talking about changing overnight? How about that? And the only way you can go further on that is if you're competent in law. You see why the law ain't taught to our people? See, law ain't taught to our people because law is the entire playbook. That's the quote unquote cheat code. See, law is the quote unquote cheat code and to keep people in a place of servitude. That's why law ain't flooded on our people. See, because law is the quote unquote cheat code. Once you know the law, you can keep somebody right where they're supposed to be at. They ain't gonna be able to violate you that easy. See, they can only violate you after that by force. This is why we have the Moorish militia. You see? See, the Moorish militia is in place because when somebody tries to physically violate your rights, your right to self-determination, your human rights, your indigenous people's rights. This is why my brother Jamal and the rest of the Rising of the Moors was on that and still on that. Because if someone gets physical with you, now it's no longer a pen and a piece of paper. Now it ain't got physical now. And y'all already know like I know. You're going to have to get it like Tyson. You're going to have to get it like Tyson. This is why the Moorish militia has to be in place. So all y'all out there that say y'all shooters, all y'all out there that be flashing all these guns in these videos, are you part of the Moorish militia? Are you part of the Moorish militia? Because being part of the Moorish militia, that's in place for security of the rights of the people, the indigenous peoples of the land. This is why the Second Amendment is in place. Because if somebody gets physical with you, now you got to defend yourself. You don't initiate it. Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, told us to be law abiders. He instructed the Moors to be law abiders. We don't go against the Constitution. We don't go against the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. We don't go against no law, national or international. But you're not finna play me like a sucker, though. So in order for you not to play me like a sucker, we got to enforce law, which is the Second Amendment. The right to defend yourself. The right to form a well-regulated militia. That's why the Second Amendment is in place. It ain't there just to be out here, yeah, I got the right to bear arms. That ain't it. And you talking about a license, don't forget, G. A license means permission. Like no different from a parent telling a child that they could play a video game. I'm going to give you permission to play the game now. I'm going to give you permission that you can drive on the roads. That's what a license means. Just like that. And if they lie to you and be like, well, you're a 14, if they lie to you and tell you you a citizen, no, you're not. No, you're not. According to the Bill of Rights, 13th Amendment, Section 20. No. Yes, Section 20. Section 20 of the original Bill of Rights, it states that Africans shall not be citizens. So you're not a U.S. citizen. You can never be a U.S. citizen because you're an indigenous descendant from the Moabites and the Canaanites in these lands. North America, Central America, South America, and the adjoining islands. You can never be a U.S. citizen. You can be a 14th Amendment corporate subject. You can be that, but you can never be a U.S. citizen. So how about instead of holding a million more march? How about instead of holding a million more march? How about any documentation that you get from today forward? You sign on there, all rights reserved. How about from today forward? Any kind of documentation as far as you getting a certificate, you getting any of that. How about you fill that out and be like, nah, I ain't on that. How about you do that? I ain't on that. How about you do that though? See? You see that? How about you do that though? Instead of filling out for a driver license, how about saying, fuck that license? All rights reserved. See, if that's done, see, that might sound like theoretical talk, but that's actually lawful. But it's going to take massive amounts of our people to declare their nationality and say, I'm not getting no driver license. What I need a driver license for me to travel on my lands. You know what I'm saying? What I need a driver license for to drive on my own lands. Mortgages and deeds. How about filling them forms out saying all rights reserved? Because the banks never loaned you no money no way. The bank ain't got no money, no power to loan anything. The bank has no power to loan anything because the bank is not operating constitutionally. That's a whole other beam out though. That's a whole other beam out. The banks do not loan money, G. They give out debt, credit. That's what the banks loan out. Banks don't loan no money out. You think you go to a bank and they be like, you apply for a $100,000 loan, a $200,000 loan. You think that bank got $200,000 or $100,000 to give you? No, sir. No, sir. The bank don't give no loans out. The bank go in there and say, this is an IOU. You promise to pay us back. That's what the banks do. Yeah. Again, there go my time. I appreciate all you mothers that are out there standing for it, teaching your babies, teaching your family. I appreciate all you mothers that are out there. Even if you're not a mother, you came from a mother. So I appreciate all you mothers. I self-law and master. Slum.